Hello guys and welcome back to EvilPanda101 with Laura Brown. Sorry I've been absent yet again. I'll be honest, there were a couple of weeks when I actually forgot that I'd set up a YouTube channel, hence no filming. Also, I was hesitant to do this sort of video because it's sort of so different to what I've done before. Just had a bit of a chat, mucked about, usually makeup has been involved. Whereas this is a different tone completely. Disclaimer here, like a trigger warning or whatever you want to call it. But this video does contain discussion of mental health, mental illnesses, depression, medication and things like that. So like I say, it's a different tone to what I've usually gone for. But I feel like it needs to be talked about more. Because there's a variety of support groups, helplines, of the Samaritans. There's a whole band of these organisations and charities that are doing the best they can, and it's wonderful work that they do. However, I feel like it needs to be talked about more between people. As silly as that sounds, I think it needs to be talked about more in day-to-day conversations rather than just these people who are in that organisation, in that charity, part of the helpline. It shouldn't just be down to them who talk about this sort of thing. I get very passionate and fired up about this sort of topic. So if I start rambling or getting aggressive or whatever, no, I'm not going to apologise for it, because I think that's what it needs. It needs people to become passionate about it and wanting to do something about it. I myself suffer with depression. I have done for three and a half years now. And it was only sort of last year that I went on medication for it because it got unbearable. When you suffer with a mental illness, you get so much aggro for it. Whether it be because people don't understand it, or just because they're ignorant. I can only speak for myself in these circumstances. I can't speak for everybody's own personal experiences. For me, I had quite a lot of backlash from family, from friends, and sometimes from strangers trying to play down my depression, to the point where people would say that it's not real, it's non-existent, that it's an excuse, just having a bad day, just being a bit sad. When it came out that I was on medication, I've had people say to me that I'm a druggie. All I do is sit around popping happy pills, that is what my life has become, that's the only way I can be happy is on pharmaceutical aids. It angers me, it upsets me beyond belief when these sort of people say these things. They have no idea of what you're going through, whether you suffer from depression, bipolar, anxiety, schizophrenia. Obviously it all affects everybody differently because our brains are different to the individual. It's like a thumbprint. They're different for different people, therefore it affects us differently. That doesn't make us any less of a person just because we're suffering. We're still human, we still exist, we're still here. And we still have a voice that needs to be heard. It might be difficult for us sometimes to actually stand up and say, do you know what, I'm not okay, I need help. But we are able to do that. In our own ways, we still have the ability to reach out. What annoys me the most, sort of going back and talking about the brain then, is when people say that that it's an excuse, or that it's not real, it's not a real illness, it doesn't exist, it's all in your head. Right, last time I checked, my brain was an organ as well. My brain can get ill as well. You wouldn't say that to a cripple or something. You just get up and walk. You wouldn't do that to them. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. For example, I don't hear those people saying the same thing about oxygen. I mean, I can't see oxygen, yet I'm sat here in my room breathing. I don't hear those people saying that same thing about God. It's the same with mental illness. Yeah, okay, you can't see it, but it's still there. It just really winds me up that people can be so uneducated and ignorant about it. And you wouldn't say to an asthmatic, snap out of it, just breathe. You're that messed up, like you can't even function your lungs properly. God, you just wouldn't say it. So why do people feel the need to give their opinion on something so personal? And why do they feel the need to do it in such a blunt manner as well, that just comes across as rude? And to anyone who's on medication whilst living with a mental illness, that doesn't make you any less of a person. The fact that you have to take pills or inject yourself or whatever, the fact that you take medication in order to live with your illness actually proves how strong you are. Doesn't say anything about how weak you are, that, oh, you need pills to be happy, you need medication 4 times a day just to control your split personalities. And what? The fact that I'm taking medication actually proves that I'm willing to carry on. I'm willing to fight. Taking the pills doesn't make my depression go away. It doesn't just vanish every time I pop one of those pills. It makes it manageable, and it helps me deal with my bad days, because I still have bad days. I have really terrible days sometimes, but taking my medication proves to me that I'm strong enough to carry on. So to anyone watching this, whether you're on meds, whether you're not, even if you're just having a bit of a bad day, not necessarily, clinically depressed, anybody who is suffering in any way, shape or form, please talk to someone, because it is possibly the hardest thing you will ever do. And yet it sounds so cliche, but it will be such a relief. It really will, because there is that weight being lifted. There might be a part of you that thinks that you're being a burden, and yes, the weight may be lifted, but you feel like you've just shared that weight with somebody else and now they're suffering. If those people care about you, they won't see it as suffering. They're there to help you. They are there to lend a hand and support you through whatever you are going through. So whilst it might be a really difficult thing for you to do, please talk. If you don't want to talk to friends or family because they care about you and you don't want to hurt them, talk to a professional. They're strangers, so they won't have an opinion on how to act. They will be there medically for you, to help you. They're not going to sit there and judge you or give an opinion on how to live your life. They're going to be there from a medical point of view. So whether you live with a mental illness or not, if you're just having a bad day, a bad week, please talk to somebody, because I honestly believe that by talking, we'll learn how to be kinder, how to be nicer to other people around us. And I honestly believe that's what this world needs at the minute, what with politics and war, just the general mood of our country. I think talking, as in really opening up and communicating, is the key for us to move forward together, and making sure nobody gets left behind. Even if they're a few steps behind you, help them. Really help and open up, because I honestly believe that if people talk about it, there'll be less stigma. It won't be a taboo subject. Don't let it be like that. If we talk about it, then I honestly believe that we'll just be there for other people, and be kinder humans as a whole. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I know it was a bit heavy for a video after a long time. It was a bit heavy-handed, but like I said, I'm not going to apologise for it, because I think it needs to be talked about. So if you enjoyed it, or if you could relate to any of this, please give this a thumbs up. Share to other people who you think might need this kind of pep talk too. I don't know, just get it out there, get talking, and I shall see you again very soon.